welcome back to B-Side Banter. This is episode 17. I'm here with Myah Elliott, and she is a music fanatic and also a film fanatic. You said you're not an expert, but you know what? I think everybody's an expert to some degree. But I've been following your content. I love it. I love just kind of watching the both things because a lot of the time music and film is really intertwined. And I think that's really interesting. So this is going to be a slightly different episode in the sense that we're going to branch out into another art form. We're going to branch out into film a little bit and probably talk about both. So, yeah, super excited to have you on, Myah, and I'll kick it to you for just a little intro. Maybe tell us a little bit more about what you do on. I follow you a lot on TikTok, but you're pretty much everywhere. So, yeah, anyway, to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to do this. As he said, my name is Myah. I love everything pop culture, music, movies, anything in the entertainment space is
Nice.
something that I will be entertained by. I got into film because I started working in a movie theater and I still work there. So that's really what got me into the movie space and then music. I mean, my parents have been playing me music forever. So that's what kind of got me into music, and I don't think I'd survive without music. Like, music is part of my everyday life, no matter what I'm feeling. Music can help that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. No, I get that for sure. And it's kind of funny because you say your parents like were listening to music all the time, showing you music and stuff. My parents were almost the opposite. Like there wasn't a whole lot of music in my house, so it was weird. It was almost like an act of rebellion, I think, for me, just to a degree where I was like, "No, I'm gonna listen to music." And yeah, my parents like are kind of from that really conservative like Christian like sphere where everything was trying to turn you to the devil. Like, you can't watch Harry Potter, can't
Yep.
listen to rock music, like all that stuff. So like it's funny. I think for me it's like it was almost like a rebellion. I was like, I'm gonna listen to music and I'm gonna listen to bad music too. So take that, mom and dad.
Yeah,
Um
you know what? I kind of relate to that. My parents don't like a lot of the stuff that comes out these days. Like,
no,
there's no
sure.
way I'd be able to play all the music that I love in
Mm,
front of them because
yeah,
they would
yeah.
not like a lot of it.
Yeah,
But
totally.
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that and I actually saw you went to Vancouver recently for like kind of a film thing. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, we were in Victoria. So I'm basically a brand ambassador for an independent theater chain in Canada, which is where I live.
Nice.
It's called Imagine Cinemas, and I've been an employee there since 2018. And then I started doing their brand ambassador stuff in 2023. And so basically, what I was there for is Show Canada, and what it is, it's for Canadian exhibitors. So anyone who runs a movie theater in the country can sign up to go, and it's basically like a showcase. So studios will show you sneak peeks and trailers of
Mm,
some of their films. We
awesome.
actually got to watch a handful of films early, which was cool.
Yeah.
And it's just a conference to talk about the state of the film industry,
Mm,
and it was very, very insightful. I was definitely the youngest person there because it's mostly for
nice.
theater owners,
Yeah,
but
sure.
because I represent the brand, they
Yeah.
decided to bring me along. That was the second time I went, and I will take any excuse to travel. So I had a great time.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know why. I'm originally from Canada. I'm living in Nashville right now. But I don't know why I just always assumed that creators live in the US. I think it's just because like that's where everybody is. So I kind of thought like I thought you were living in the US and you went to Canada. So I was anyway, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming then that you don't live in BC.
No, BC would be amazing. I'm from Ontario, so
Mm-hmm.
Toronto area, but
Nice.
people would think I'm from the States because of how much I travel to the States.
Okay.
I'm there just a lot, mainly
Yeah.
for concerts. But yeah, I
Yeah.
have that same thing. I assumed everybody is from the States. So when I find out they're from Canada, I'm like, what?
Yeah, what? Yeah,
Really?
yeah. We do have some pretty strong, like I've noticed, like there's a few people in the music world, like music content creation world that are Canadian. You've got the I always want to say NPR, but NFR guys, the two bros.
Yes.
They're Canadians, so we love that. I don't know if you know the Drake fan Stan, I should say, Sal Luciano or whatever. He's Canadian, but he's a big Drake guy. So, which you might not be into that because you love Kendrick Lamar. You gave me your five favorite artists. So right now there's not a lot of crossover, but
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, listen, I love the NFR podcast, boys. I've met them a couple times because we usually go to Oshiega and I see
oh,
them
nice.
there.
Mhm.
I started off as well. I am still huge fans of NFR podcast. Their content is amazing. I
Yeah.
watch their content all the time, and yeah, they're awesome. I love them.
Yeah, no, they're awesome for sure. Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. It almost seems like it was kind of like a little mini like festival, like film festival to a degree. You know, getting to see some sneak peeks and some early showings is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I do want to talk like like we'll start into the film stuff because I enjoy movies. I love watching movies and I wouldn't consider myself a critic by any means or an expert, kind of like what you said. But you know, I can be pretty picky with what I watch. I like, you know, certain things. So let's maybe talk about what are some of your kind of like preferences when it comes to film. What are you enjoying to watch? Maybe you could talk about some of your favorite movies or some of your favorite directors or actors, actresses, whatever. But like, let's just get a gauge of where you're at for what you're watching.
yeah. So when it comes to genres, my favorite is drama.
Hmm.
Anything that can kind of keep me on the edge of my seat, and also like I just love witnessing drama without having to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And I also love comedy, so usually those movies that can blend the drama and the comedy really well
Yeah.
are right up my alley.
Hmm.
In terms of directors, my all-time favorite director in the whole wide world is Ryan Coogler.
Yes.
I have never disliked a movie that he has made. Every single
Hmm.
movie he has made, I have been a huge fan of. Fruitvale Station, Black Panther,
Hmm.
Wakanda Forever,
Hmm.
most recently Sinners. Like
Yeah.
everything he's done has been truly, truly amazing to watch. Like I've seen Sinners 7 times now in the past two
Whoa,
months, just
that's
because I have a
amazing.
very I have a very obsessive personality. So
Yeah.
once I like something, I will just do it over and over again. Like when Wakanda Forever was in theaters, I'm pretty sure I watched that 6 or 7 times too.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's just great at doing the drama and having the comedy as well, and it always
Mhm.
lands for me.
Yeah,
Um,
totally. Yeah.
yeah, in terms of movies that I like, I mentioned Sinners.
Yeah.
I actually saw it, I got to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX because
Nice.
I live not too far from the only IMAX 70 millimeter theater in all of Canada. There's only one.
That's crazy.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was insane to be able to experience that. I'm huge on the Marvel movies, like
Mhm.
Captain America: Civil War is one of my favorites.
Mhm.
I love this. All the Spider-Man movies are great. I love the Iron Man movies.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, like I'm kind of like all over the place. There's some hidden gem stuff that I like. Like there's a movie called Queen and Slim. It's not super well
Yeah.
known, but it's one
No,
of
I know
my
that one.
favorites
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Usually when I
No.
say that name, people are like, "What are you talking about?"
No,
Um,
I really enjoyed that movie a lot actually. And I really like, oh my gosh, his name is gonna elude me.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, yeah, I love him. I love his stuff. I literally, yeah. Um
Yeah,
I
he's
follow
great.
him a lot. Yeah. If he's ever in a film or even I think has he's been in a TV series. Is that where he got his start? I can't remember. Anyway,
I don't
I really
remember.
like following his career for sure. Yeah, he's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors. Like every time
Mhm.
he's in a movie, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, Queen and Slim. That's a great one.
Yeah, yeah, and I also love Pixar, Disney. My favorite Pixar movie is
Mm.
Wall-E.
Yes.
A lot of people,
Kind of
when I
underrated.
ask the, right? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people, when I bring up Wally, they're like, really? And I'm like,
Mm,
yeah. But the thing about Wally is I feel like it hits you a lot different if you watch it as an adult compared
mhm.
to if you watch it as a child. Because when you're a
Yeah.
child, you might not love it as much because there's not as much dialogue. It's very
Yeah.
much like you have to watch and see what's happening. And a lot of people,
Mhm.
especially kids, are not going to pick up on that. But if you watch it as an adult, it's so different. And I have a Wally chain. I have Wally
That's
tattooed
amazing.
on me. Like
That's so great. Yeah.
it's my favorite movie of all time. So yeah,
Yeah.
Wally and Pixar. Like Pixar has very
Mhm.
rarely ever done me wrong. I love almost every single one of their movies.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, I love Pixar too. That's I'm my wife always makes fun of me because I'm just such a like an animated film guy. Like I love animated films. And obviously Pixar is one of the best studios out there. There you can't really get better than that. But yeah, Wall-E is up there for me. And also I have a daughter, so we watch a lot of animated movies. So that's what it's really nice now because now I have somebody to watch them with, whereas before it was like I just I'd have to wait till they came out and watch them by myself. But yeah, Wall-E's
Yeah,
underrated. It's underrated. I think
yeah.
it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I think animated movies as a whole, like, I love them. And I feel like there's usually this common thing that animated movies are for kids, but
Hmm.
not always. Not
No.
always. And even if they are targeted towards kids, I feel like a lot of adults can get something out of it. Like the Pixar
Hmm.
movies, so the reason why so many adults love it is because they put stuff in there for adults to appreciate too. It might be a little
Yeah.
joke here or there,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
they will always make sure to reach a mass amount of people, and that's why their
Hmm.
movies hit so hard for people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's great. I think I don't even know if I could come up with my favorite uh, Pixar movie, but I know one movie that I don't think was received super well when it came out, but is getting like a ton of love lately from I think the people that would have watched it when it came out and are kind of grown up now is Ratatouille. Like that, like I love
Yeah.
Ratatouille, but when it came out, like I don't think people were really that like they're just kind of like it's okay. But now like everybody is like this is the best Pixar movie ever, and I'm like yeah, I love that because that's so good. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, my one of my friends from high school, one of the only people I'm still friends with from high school. I remember the first
Mhm.
time I came to her house back when I was in like grade 9. She
Mhm.
put Ratatouille on and she knew like almost every single word. Like that's her favorite.
Yeah,
That's her
yeah,
favorite Pixar movie.
yeah.
She has a Remy tattoo on her arm. Like
That's amazing. That's such a
Pixar
good.
Pixar fans really go hard, and
They
I
do.
am one of
They
them.
do.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but I love yeah, Ratatouille is great. Like I feel like that's a little underrated one, but you're definitely right in the sense that people are starting to pick up on it now. I agree with that.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any other films that are like kind of maybe on your Mount Rushmore?
Ooh, well, my letterbox top four,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
say,
let's get into this. Yeah.
Queen and
Hmm.
Slim is one of them. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of them. I
Yeah.
remember watching that movie and not knowing what to expect. I kind of just went in completely blind and
Yeah.
loved it.
Hmm.
So that's one. Wally is one,
Yeah.
and the last one is Captain America Civil War, but I have been thinking about replacing it with Sinners. But I feel
Okay.
like the recency bias might be getting to me, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
let me let it sit. We'll see
Give
how
it
it.
some
I mean, I'm
time.
sure it's gonna age beautifully, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel weird adding like a new release into my top four because it's such a big deal to have a new release in your top four. So I was like, let me
Yeah. Yeah.
relax and see what happens maybe in a year.
Yeah, totally. I have a confession to make. I have not seen Sinners, and I am so mad that I missed it. We've just been like traveling and having people visit for like it feels like a month, and I just totally missed seeing it in theaters. I don't know if it's out. Like I might be able to still catch it, but we do have a 70 millimeter IMAX here, and I'm really upset that I missed it in there because now Mission Impossible is there, and then whatever. Like that's still a good
Yeah.
movie, but still a good
Wow.
movie. But I missed it, and I'm beating myself up about it because I guess it to me it kind of flew under my radar a little bit. Like I saw like some of the promo and I saw some people being excited about it, but um I don't know. Like is this accurate that, and maybe I just was like offline for a while, but is this accurate that like it kind of snuck up on people at how great it was? Like people weren't really considering that it was going to be as good as it was, but then all of a sudden they watched it and everybody's like, this is amazing. Is that accurate, or
Yeah,
did I miss it?
I would say that's accurate, especially
Yeah, okay.
because we're in an age right now where so many studios are banking on making remakes and
Yeah.
sequels and
Yeah.
prequels, and that is what's making a lot of money these days. So when it comes to original films, sometimes it's a little hard to get a lot of audiences to come watch it because they want to watch
Mhm.
something that they're familiar with. And,
Yeah, sure.
you know, I'm someone who is like, I'll watch a prequel or a sequel, but I'd love to watch something completely original,
Yeah,
right? Because
totally. Yeah.
usually they're the most unexpected gems.
Mhm.
So I feel like it was definitely under the radar. And as someone who worked at a movie theater, I remember I was really, really excited. I was counting down the days, weeks for
Mhm.
this movie to come out. And when we first got it, it wasn't really selling that
Mm,
well. And I think it was
interesting. Yeah,
because people weren't people didn't really know what it was or what it was about, and
sure.
then the word of mouth is what really pushed it, because usually how movies go is it hits the theaters, it's packed, and then it slowly
Yeah.
dies down a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Sinners it was almost the opposite. As weeks
Mhm.
were going on, theaters were getting packed because all these people are making memes about it online. They're
Yeah.
tweeting. There's all these inside jokes. People are
Yeah.
talking about how great it is. It's one of the best
Mhm.
movies they've seen in a long time. And then everybody else is getting FOMO, so they decide to go watch it. And I remember even, I think maybe the fourth or fifth time I watched it, it was like a 9 p.m. show at a theater that wasn't IMAX or anything special. And it was sold out, and people were reacting and laughing. And that was like 3 or 4 weeks after the movie had come out. And
Crazy.
I don't remember the last time I've ever seen something like that happen.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
it's really
that's
good because I really love when people decide to make original stories. I want to
yeah.
see more of them, and I love them.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the movies that I love are originals.
Mm,
So
mhm.
I'm really happy that Ryan Coogler was the one to do it because
Yeah.
he makes amazing movies, and this is just another one to add to the collection.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, like I follow you're probably familiar with them. You might have even met them. I don't know, but Kit Laser and Cinema Joe on TikTok, I
Mm-hmm.
follow them. I want like that's and like I follow a lot of like film critique accounts, but those two are the ones that always end up on my For You page for whatever reason. But both of them were raving about it, which I was like, this is kind of surprising because I didn't feel like I was hearing them excited for the lead up to it, and maybe I missed that. But yeah, they were both like, this is an amazing movie. So I was like, I gotta watch this. But then days went by, and I just anyway, I'm kicking myself about it because I really think I missed out, especially watching it in IMAX. I really enjoy seeing, especially if they've intentionally filmed it for that. I enjoy doing that. I know that like there's certain directors that love to film for 70 millimeters. You've got Christopher Nolan always loves to do that. So it's a lot of fun to view it in that setting. But yeah, anyway, it's probably going to be a big regret for me, I would say,
I'm
unless
sure they'll bring it back one day. Like the hype
yeah,
is there. Like who
that
knows,
would
right?
be
Because they brought it back for an extra week because there was so
mm,
much demand for it. And like at
yeah.
least if you don't see it in like IMAX 70 millimeter, at least IMAX.
Mhm.
Like I just there's times where the screen extends for action scenes, like just right as it's happening. Like I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
seen that ever.
yeah,
So
yeah,
highly recommend.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to keep my eye. We're traveling again, so like I don't know. I just it just might not be in my cards to watch it, but which is really sad. Maybe they'll do a 10-year anniversary in 70 millimeters like they did with Interstellar. And then I'll
Yeah,
be able
but
to go.
if you can watch it in a theater, even if it's not IMAX, like the
I know it's
theatrical
worth it.
experience is like none other. I know there's a lot of
Mhm.
people these days who are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait till it's on streaming," but I literally want to strangle people who say that because I'm like, it's not the same. Like watching
No,
something
it's
in a
absolutely not.
theater is so different. Like I remember the first time I watched Parasite, I watched it on my laptop and I was like, oh,
Mm,
okay, yeah, that was a good movie. And then I told my
yeah,
friend and he was like, no, you're gonna watch it
yeah.
in a theater. And we went to the theater and watched it and changed my whole perspective. Like
Mm.
loved it way more. So if anyone is debating about how to watch a movie, the theater is the best way to do it every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. It's the parallels between it and music are really similar in the sense that it's just like going to see a concert. You're
Yeah,
with a bunch of people that are all there to view this thing, um, and it's usually a really positive experience. Obviously, there's times where where movies might disappoint, or for example with the Minecraft movie where things get out of hand and it's just like crazy and you're like, come on guys, you're literally like, you're having fun but you're ruining this for people that just want to like watch the movie.
yeah.
Luckily my daughter is like super into Minecraft, so luckily we saw that before it got too crazy. Like, but then
Okay.
like they were literally like they were like kicking people out here in Nashville. Like it was bad. So
Yeah.
I'm like so glad that that didn't happen while we saw it, because my daughter would have just been so sad. Plus, like
Yeah.
they were throwing popcorn and drinks all over the place. I'm like, who wants to get drenched with like a Coke? Like nobody wants that.
Right?
And then you have
Exactly.
to watch
Yeah.
the rest of the movie. I don't know. That was insane. But
Yeah. I watched it before the hype too. I watched it like the Thursday night before the opening. So none
mm,
of that was happening.
yeah,
But I work at a movie theater, so I got to
you
see it a
I
lot
know.
later.
Uh,
Like I was
yeah.
that person, like even though my managers didn't want me to do it, I was literally walking in the theater before the show started and be like, if I catch you throwing popcorn, you are
Mm,
getting kicked out.
yeah.
Period. Because
Yeah.
like people are being so inconsiderate to employees because I'm like, I get it's a
Mm,
fun thing, it's an internet thing, people are doing it, but when theater employees who have been already working all day, serving people
mm,
and dealing with every single thing possible, and then they come in and like there's just a
yeah.
pile of popcorn everywhere, drinks spilled. It's like it's very
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
glad that that era is over because
Yes.
I I
Yeah.
I can't deal with it anymore.
Absolutely. No, that was totally insane. Yeah. Anyway, that's what happens, I guess, in some of those situations. Like, great for the movie. The
Yeah,
people, like, all the people making money off of it, they're like, this is amazing. We're making so
yeah,
much more money than we thought we would. This is so great.
exactly.
But yeah, for people that just wanted to go to watch it and not get popcorn thrown all over them and drenched in soda, like then they're like, this sucked. Like I hated this.
Yeah, yeah, rightfully so. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. You mentioned on your Mount Rushmore, I believe, that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right? Is that the one you said? Yeah.
Hmm.
That was like one of your favorites, which, amazing, amazing movie. But this is like a really good kind of segue into talking about music and film, because that it's not a score, but that like soundtrack that Metro Boomin basically produced and came up with has, for a lot of people, been just massive. Like some people are like, this is my favorite like album. And it's not like, he made this for the film. Um, but so good, so good. And it's kind of like,
Incredible.
it almost, like, to a degree, I would say it almost changed a little bit of how music is made for films. Like I could be wrong. You've been in the film world for a while, but like typically you have a score and then you have a few songs. Maybe they're original songs, maybe they're songs that people have already written that are in the movie. But for there to be like an entire album, and like that's pretty much the score is almost just the song, the individual songs. That was pretty unique. At least I felt like it was unique, and it kind of changed how that happen. And now there's a lot of this going on now where it's like, hey, let's actually like create an album of individual songs with different artists and stuff. But yeah, a great listening and viewing experience. What are your thoughts kind of on the music side of that?
Oh, I love it. I obviously like music and movies are my thing, so when they can come together, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
I remember
Yeah.
listening to that soundtrack because usually after I watch a movie, I'll like the music, but it will actually take me a lot to go out of my way to go re-listen to it. But
Mhm.
that was one of the first, probably is the first time I watched a movie, and I was like, oh, I need to listen to the soundtrack, and there's
Yeah.
songs on there that are, in my main rotation all the time,
Yeah.
and they just Metro Boomin just killed it. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
he so like handpicked all these artists, like, and it was perfect. Like Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee,
Mhm.
perfect,
Yeah.
absolutely perfect pop song to have for
Mhm.
that. And that song blew up for good reason. Like it's just so positive, and
Yeah.
every time I hear that song, I think of the movie. And
Yeah.
like they
Absolutely.
had a bunch of other big names on there, like Nicki Minaj, Ty Dolla
Mhm.
Sign,
Mhm.
XXX, Lil Wayne. Like it was huge, and
Mhm.
I listened to that album and I can remember the scenes that were happening as I'm listening to certain songs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really powerful. And then he was able to do it again for Across the Spider Verse. Like I still think
Mhm.
I prefer the first one, but the second one is great too. And I feel like just the integration of hip hop hip hop artists
Mhm.
in soundtracks has been really cool because rap and hip hop is my favorite genre, so of course I was gonna eat it up regardless. But
Yeah. Yeah, for
I
sure.
I love, like, I've been a fan of Metro Boomin for so long, and I
Mhm.
think I think you're right when you say that it changed how people craft soundtracks for
Mhm.
movies because now
Mhm.
we're seeing a bunch of artists making original songs for movies. Like that's the case for F1. They have
Yeah.
like Tate McRae, like all
Mhm.
these big names doing soundtracks, and I think that's really cool because obviously I can respect the score,
Mhm.
and scores can be so impactful, but I think you can reach a bigger audience when you have original songs that people are just gonna want to memorize the lyrics and sing along to. So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that they were doing that with F1 and they did it for Twisters as well. Like that was like a big like country thing that yeah. And that was actually like a big deal here in Nashville where I am because all of they made a point to make all of the songs like all of the writers that wrote the songs were from Nashville. So it was an interesting thing that way, but yeah, it definitely changed how music, like you said, is crafted. Um, when we talk about scores, do you have any that you're just like they stand out to you? Do you have any favorite scores? Do you have any favorite composers, maybe even? Yeah,
Ooh, that's a good question. Scores. Um, I love the score from Up. That's
yeah, that
that
one's
score is
it is
iconic.
so good. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, that's the
I don't
first
even
one
know.
that comes to my mind. It's beautiful. Like honestly, a lot of the Pixar movies have amazing score. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
Oppenheimer has amazing score.
Hmm.
Um, I thought I was gonna hate that movie, but I ended up loving it, so that was an interesting one.
Yeah,
Um, when it comes to composers, I have to shout out Ludwig Göransson
yeah.
because every time he works on a film, it's just amazing. And
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it's like he did the score, but he was also involved in producing the songs that artists were on.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like that was a cool mix when a producer is actually working on songs with artists as well.
Hmm.
Like that
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing. And every time I see his name attached to the music of a movie, I'm like, oh, the score is gonna be amazing. Like
Hmm.
he's just a mastermind. Like every time he makes music, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. So
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I I've been for a long time a big fan of Christopher Nolan films and Denis Villeneuve films. And so usually if you're a fan of those films, you're a fan of Hans Zimmer because like
yes.
Hans Zimmer basically always does their scores except for in Tenet. I don't know if you remember that Christopher Nolan film, the really weird one that everybody was like, I don't understand this. Which,
Yeah,
that's most of his movies anyway. But
yeah.
that was the first time that he got Ludwig Göransson to do a score. And when I first there's like that first scene where they're like breaking into that like orchestra symphony or whatever, and I remember watching that, and um, that was probably, if I were to associate like experiences watching a film with music involved, that was probably like one of my favorites, just because that score that Ludwig came up with for that was so dark and heavy, and it was just so unusual. At least I thought like, well, this is strange. Like this is not really anything that I've heard before in a movie, and I was like, this is amazing. And then after I like re-listened to that particular like track on the score, and I was like, I still like it, but like I need to hear it in the theater again, because it like everything it had to do with just how loud it was. It was just so like everything. It was just so in your face. It was intense. What you were watching was intense. What you were hearing was intense. It was amazing. Anyway, after I heard that, I was like, whoa, I need to check. I need to follow this guy, because like he's doing something really unique, really cool. Yeah, and then Oppenheimer did a great job, and Black Panther as well. I think he's done some other stuff with. I feel like he's worked with Ryan a lot, because didn't he also do Sinners?
Yep, he did Sinners, and when you
Yeah,
watch that movie, you'll be able to know. Like the
yeah,
score in that movie is just incredible. Like as you
yeah. I've
said,
heard
like when
that.
it's loud and in your
Mm,
face, and it just
mm,
fits the theme of the movie so perfectly. Like
yeah,
he mastermind Hans Zimmer, amazing. He just went like on a tour and was
yeah. I
recording
know.
his scores live. I wish I
Yeah,
was able to go to it because my friends went to it and
yeah.
said it was amazing. Him, Michael Giacchino, his
Yeah,
scores are great.
he did Up, right?
He did I know he did The Incredibles. I
I think he
saw
did Up. I can look it up really quick.
I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah, he
There's
did.
so
Yeah.
much music. So, yeah, so much music, so many movies. It's so hard to keep
Mm,
track. But like,
yeah.
yeah, he like when I think of movie scores, those are the three names that I think about because
Hmm.
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um yeah, I really like Michael. However you pronounce Giacchino, however you
Giacchino.
pronounce his last
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just so good at like, I don't know, like uplifting type of score. Like I don't know. Like Up is amazing, and like you said, The Incredibles. I don't know. It's just there's just something that's so interesting about music and film, because when there's no background music, you kind of notice it. And when there's no background music, you're like, this is intentional. The director is doing something intentional, because there's pretty much music almost every second. Like, not necessarily, like, obviously, in terms of dialogue, sometimes dialogue, there won't be anything, but especially if there's a moment where there's a scene with no dialogue and no music, like it's not like, oh, that was a mistake. It's like, no, the director is intentionally trying to do something. They're trying to draw your attention to something, because that's like almost never, that doesn't very often happen, right? So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
interesting how these two things go hand in hand, and are sometimes so intertwined that there's not really any separating them.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that 100% because like you could watch a movie scene with music and then watch the same scene without music.
Hmm.
Completely different.
Yeah,
Completely
absolutely.
different. Like it
Yeah.
can change the way that you feel. Like horror movies, when they use certain songs, they could like
Hmm.
it almost it communicates something to you. Sometimes
Yeah.
music can tell you like a monster is about to pop out. Like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
very
Yeah,
communicative. Like
yeah,
you're allowed to predict and understand what's about to happen with music,
mm,
and it's very powerful.
yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you've seen like those clips where people will take like a trailer of like a comedy, and they'll like put horror music behind it, and they're like, if it's like if Stuart Little was a horror film or something, and it like puts like all this stuff together. It's like so true. If you just put some like horror music behind something, it can be like it can be so yeah, it can absolutely change it into a horror film where you're like,
Yep,
whoa, like yeah, this I could see this being scary. Like I don't know, you're
a
like,
100%, 100%.
we talked about Metro, but there's this like really cool, I think, kind of mixing of the two worlds of music and film. Whereas a lot of the time they've been separate. There's been some jumping back and forth. You've had some movie stars try to do music, some artists try to do acting, but we're starting to see more and more like artists like Metro coming into the world of film and curating or crafting a soundtrack. Or you've got um I don't know if you've watched the Social Network,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got like Trent Reznor, who I always forget. It's not nine. I can't remember if it's 9 Inch Nails. Anyway, the two guys from like this pretty intense rock band come in, do a score for a movie like that, win an award for it. For one thing, they did an amazing job. But so you've got this like really interesting kind of mixing that is happening that hasn't really happened like that ever. There's been a little bit of jumping back and forth, but not kind of this mixing so much. And it's really adding these cool, unique, really creative things to come into the film world that weren't really there before.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, it's just a new perspective because it doesn't always have to be like some big composer doing all the
Yeah.
music. You can bring in a fresh new perspective. Like the Challenger score, I have to shout that out. Like, that
Mm,
was one of the most memorable scores of last year. Like I've heard
mm.
that score at the club like everywhere.
Yeah,
I've I've,
yeah,
I've heard it
yeah.
everywhere, and
That's crazy. Yeah.
it's so catchy, and it fits the vibe of the movie so well. So I
Hmm.
feel like you can have those movies where there's a big name composer doing it and it works well, but sometimes
Hmm.
it's cool to add in some of the newer people like Metro Boomin because you're getting a
Hmm.
fresh new perspective on the music, but you're also advertising to a mass amount of people you might have not been tapped into before because Metro Boomin fans maybe now they're going to start watching Metro Boomin produced
Yeah,
albums that are part of
yeah,
movies. Like
yeah,
it's a marketing tactic too.
yeah. Absolutely, for sure, it is. Yeah, and the fact that they're great at this, is just like obviously that's the icing on the cake. And like you said, it's a new perspective. Yeah, you don't have it doesn't have to be even like Hans Zimmer is really unique and creative, but like it's it's that his style of like these big orchestras, and like his whole thing is like he likes to create new sounds. Like so for the Dune like thing, he's like trying to make these new instruments to make weird sounds that he wants to create. But then you've got Metro, you've got Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross come in. They're like, I'll just use a synth and I'll just use these. And or Ludwig does that a lot. He's like, I'll just like play a guitar and just like totally destroy it with some sort of distortion. And now it's something that you've never heard before. And so like all these unique perspectives are coming in to kind of the score world, and yeah, creating something really new, really unique, really cool. And it's not just the typical like John Williams like Star Wars score where it's like this big symphony, playing something
Yeah,
really epic, which is fine, and that's great for when it's needed, but it's also really cool to hear something different.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's that was great. I just enjoy. I really enjoy music, and I have. There's a few obsessions I have with movies. I'm sure you relate. When you have the people you love, you just like count down the days. You're like looking up. So like for you, like, when is Ryan's new movie gonna come out? You're like looking like has he like dropped like a hint as to what he's gonna be working on next. For me, it's the same way. Like I'm super excited for Christopher Nolan's Odyssey or whatever he's working on now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm always there. I'm always looking. Same with certain actors. I'm always like, what are they working on now? What are they doing? So it's a lot of fun to kind of geek out on some of that stuff. But
Yeah.
let's transition a little bit into some music stuff. So we've already mentioned that you love Kendrick Lamar. You also love The Weeknd, SZA, Nicki Minaj. Talk a little bit. I know you just went to Kendrick and SZA's tour. Maybe give us a little bit of a taste of what that was like.
Oh man, do I even have words? That that experience has been amazing. I've been to a couple shows now because I'm like once wasn't enough for me.
Mm,
Um, I absolutely loved it. I feel like a lot of people were iffy about how the dynamic between a rapper and an R&B artist would work
mm,
for a tour because
yeah.
like they make very different music. But I
Mm,
think it's a very cool dynamic because Kendrick will come out, perform like 5, 6 songs, and then SZA will
mm,
come out, and then they kind of like switch on and off. And I feel like it was a good balance because you're getting those high energy hip hop songs, but you're also getting the more mellow R&B
mm,
songs. And I feel like
yeah.
it's a very good mix. And those two, they make great songs together too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it's incredible because they're two of my favorite artists. They're two of my fave live performers. Like Kendrick
Mm,
Lamar's literally like one of the best live performers. His breath control is insane because I know a lot of rappers when they perform because I've been to a lot of rap shows
yeah.
and he's not even using any backtrack.
Mm, mm,
he's rapping Euphoria word for word with no backtrack and that song's like
yeah.
6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
it's just incredible to see and
Mm,
because I'm such a huge fan of his music, this tour has been insane because I know like every word to every single song he's performing
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just that's really really exciting to experience and to
Mm,
experience it in a stadium compared to an
yeah.
arena
Yeah.
has been amazing and just being able to talk to fans and when we're waiting for entry into the venue, just talking about my favorite songs and their favorite
Mm,
songs and having a
mm,
chat. Like the last when I went last time and I was in the pit, I was just asking everybody their zodiac sign because I wanted to see if there was a common denominator. And I was
yeah,
surrounded
okay.
by Virgos. There was like
Really?
7 Virgos around me, and I'm like, okay, so the Virgos really like Kendrick Lamar. Like I'm not a Virgo, I'm a Cancer, but
Yeah.
I have like I have Virgo moon in my astrological chart. So I'm like, maybe there's a connection there. But just
Oh, okay.
fun stuff like that outside of the concert, just being able to interact with fans. I made
Mm,
a video uh, showing off people's outfits from the tour that did really well. I had a video asking people their favorite songs from GNX and their favorite song
yeah.
from SOS
Mm,
and the fandom that comes along with this has just been incredible. So
yeah.
I'm
Yeah. It's
waiting
amazing.
anxiously for the Toronto shows because I'm sure it's gonna be legendary when that show is here for 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
That's
been great.
crazy.
Kendrick Lamar is like my favorite. So
Mm, yeah. Well, I'm a Virgo and I love Kendrick Lamar, so maybe there's something there.
there we
Maybe
go. There we go.
maybe there's something there. I don't know. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Are there any like songs that like stood out to you big time? How many times have you seen the this tour?
Um, right now I'm at 6 and I
That is
have 4
crazy.
to go.
10. Whoa. That's amazing. So, are there any songs that stick out to you every time? Are there any that you're just like I love seeing this one live between either one, Kendrick or SZA?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, hearing Euphoria live is like
Mm,
something that everybody needs
yeah.
to experience in their lifetime because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just such a high energy song.
Yeah.
It's long. Like when he's
Yeah.
performing it, he's like going all around the stage. There's like fireworks going on. Like
Mm,
everybody's just jumping around and having a good time. Like that song is just very, very good. And then
mm.
he does this remix of Mad City,
Okay.
and it's using the instrumentals of an Anita Baker song. I think it's called Sweet Love. And it's
Interesting.
such an interesting dynamic because Mad
Mhm,
City is such a high energy rap song, and the
mhm.
instrumentals for Sweet Love are very, very mellow. So at
Yeah,
first, I
yeah.
remember the first time I heard it, I was like, is he performing a new song? And then
Mm.
I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
this
and
is
you're like, "No,
Mad
this is."
City.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it just sounds so good. Like there were some people who were criticizing it, like, Mad City's a high energy song, so we should be getting the original version. But I
Yeah.
completely disagree because he's playing songs like Backseat Freestyle, Family
Mhm.
Ties, All
Yeah.
Right, Humble, DNA, all these really high energy songs. So it's not like, we're lacking that energy. And I think it's
Yeah.
cool when you can remix a song and perform it differently compared to how we normally hear it. And
Yeah.
so that's a highlight of the show for me, 100%. When
Mm.
it comes to SZA, she sings a song called Consideration, which is off
Mm.
of Rihanna's Anti album. And she's featured on the song, but she sings the song.
Yeah.
And I love hearing that song
Mm.
because I think it's so catchy. Like
Yeah.
I barely even knew the song before the tour started, and then she started performing it, and I love it now. So that and her doing Kiss Me More,
Mm.
lovely, lovely, lovely song. And she just brought out
Yeah.
Doja Cat in Vegas, which was cool.
That's really cool.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the show's like almost 3 hours. They perform like 51 songs between the two of them, and
So crazy.
it's crazy. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but I love it because they're two of my favorite
Mhm.
artists. So this is
Yeah.
like my dream tour.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so amazing. Um, yeah, that I'll have to check out. I that he's never done that before with Mad City, right? This is like new. This is like something he's curated specifically for this tour. I'll have to go and see if I can find some clips of it because that sounds
Oh,
really
I got
interesting to me.
videos. I can send you
You know?
them.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that would be really cool because I'm really like I'd be really interested to hear that. Mad City is like one of my I don't know I have too many favorites of his, but that's one of my
Yeah,
favorites. So,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
really cool. I'm kind of sad that I really thought that I don't know why, but at the same time, like everybody comes through Nashville, but he doesn't. They're not coming through. Which like I guess I kind of get. Hip hop doesn't have as big of a pull here. There's still like a lot of people that come through, but anyway, Atlanta's like the closest, and yeah, I don't know. It was like I don't have anybody that I'd go with, and I was like, man, I'm just kind of disappointed. But I might have to catch him. Um, Kind of on the back end of the tour. I'll see. I need to sit down and think about it hard because I know that it's just so good. I've been watching clips like nonstop of it, and I've been seeing, um, yeah, just everything seems so amazing. So I'm like, I gotta
It
go.
it
I don't
is.
know.
It's amazing, and if you can, definitely do it. And I've been to six of the shows, but five of them I went to by myself because I don't really have a lot
Yeah,
of friends who are huge Kendrick fans and also willing to
the
travel.
travel.
Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first night of the tour, which I went to, which was in Minneapolis, I
Mm,
did that by myself. I went to the LA shows by myself. Like
man.
I went to the New
Yeah,
York shows by myself, aside from one of the shows I brought my friend. But the Toronto shows, I know a bunch of people going because I'm
yeah,
from here,
for sure.
so
Yeah,
all my
yeah,
friends are gonna go. But
yeah.
yeah, I go to concerts by myself all the time.
Hey, I don't know. I'm just weird that way. Like I don't know. I'm
It's not
like
for everybody.
I know. I just think like I get like anxious if I'm like by myself, like just thinking like I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's like some weird like social anxiety or something, but like yeah, I've there's been concerts that have come through here where I'm like I'd really love to go to that, but then I'm like I don't know anybody that likes this person and I'm like I guess I'm not going. Like Childish Gambino was like that and I'm like I should have just gone and
Oh
saw him. Like what is my
yeah,
problem? I don't
his
know.
tour was amazing.
I know.
Absolutely
I
loved it.
heard it was
He's one of my
amazing.
favorites too. He's one of
Yeah.
my favorite artists too.
Too many
Yeah,
too many good artists.
yeah,
Well, that you might have sold me on maybe catching one of his on the back half here, but we'll see. I'll have to keep everybody posted on that if I do it. I don't
yeah.
know. um, but yeah, let's go through you. I'd love to hear. So you have Michael Jackson as one of your favorite artists, which I love that. We haven't talked about Michael Jackson like at all. I don't think at all on this podcast. So I love like when people have these favorite artists that we haven't talked about because it's really cool to talk about them. Um, Tell me about Michael Jackson. What does he mean to you? Um, if I were to make an assumption, I'm assuming this is coming from parents' influence, but I could be wrong. Anyway, what does he mean to you?
You would be right. Parents' influence.
Mm,
They were like the artist that they played for me like my
mm.
entire childhood. They have videos of
Hey,
me dancing around as a kid
They
listening
couldn't
to
have really
Michael
picked a
Jackson.
better. They couldn't really have picked a better artist. Like I don't know. That's
Exactly.
pretty
He has
amazing.
the pop, he has the R&B,
Mhm,
like he fits under so many umbrellas and like
mhm,
yeah, when you grow up listening to him all the time, like, and his music just feels so timeless. So,
mhm.
I can listen to his music forever and I don't even feel like it's a throwback. I'm just like, yeah, it's Michael Jackson. And like, he's just incredible. Like, I love his
Mhm.
music so much. It's so tragic because he passed away on my birthday, which
Oh,
was
that's sad. Yeah.
crazy because like he's my
Mhm.
favorite artist of all time. And
Yeah. That's so sad.
I was like 8 years old. I was 8 years old,
Oh,
so it was like,
yeah.
it was sad, but I'm like, you know what, his music lives forever, right?
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
um, yeah, no, me and my sister, both big fans of Michael Jackson. Like, we
Mhm.
had the Michael Jackson Just Dance, on our Wii,
I
so,
love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah, we still remember the dances and stuff, and
That's so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just brings me close to family when I listen to Michael Jackson. I
Mhm.
have a tattoo dedicated to him. Like,
Mhm.
who do I not have a tattoo dedicated to at this point? Um,
Right.
but yeah, no, he's great, and like I will always go back to his music all the time.
Mhm.
Like, and they're making a biopic about him, so I'm hoping that's good too.
Yeah, yeah, those sometimes those biopics you're kind of like you hold your breath because there have been
Yeah,
some that are very good, but hopefully
I
they
agree.
do. You know? I actually didn't hear that they're is this like still in like really early production or have they like announced casting and all that
No,
stuff?
yeah, casting is out. It was actually supposed to come out late this year, but it actually got delayed.
Okay,
I don't know exactly why, but I think maybe they need to do some refilming.
okay.
But it is set to come out next year. And Michael is actually being played by someone related to him somehow. I don't remember what the connection is. I don't know if
Oh,
it's a nephew or
interesting.
something, but the
Okay,
cast is stacked. Like I know Coleman Domingo was in it, and like he's great in
okay.
everything I've seen
Yeah,
him in. And yeah,
yeah.
I remember looking at the cast list and I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited about this. So yeah,
Okay. Well,
biopics can
yeah,
be very hit or miss. So we'll see
yeah.
how it goes.
Sometimes, yeah.
I have high hopes because like he's my
Mhm,
favorite artist, so I hope it's done well. But his family is involved in it, so I'm hoping
mhm.
that will help the quality.
Yeah, yeah. That would be good. And who knows? Maybe that was some of the delay. Maybe the family had an issue with certain points of portrayal, which
Yeah,
that happens.
exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll have to keep my eye out for that. I'd love to hear, and this is gonna be off the cuff, as you said earlier before we started recording, but I'd love to hear your five favorite Michael Jackson songs.
Yeah, I always tell people like when I reveal my top five of anything that I'll just do what they are as of
Currently,
now because
yeah,
my
totally.
opinion is always changing. Sometimes I have the
Mhm,
ones that are always I will always answer, but I feel like it's best
mhm,
when I can just think of them off the top of my head. My
mhm,
favorite Michael Jackson song of all time is Just Good Friends off of the
mhm.
Bad album.
Yep.
Um, Kind of an underrated one. I feel like if I was to look at how much that one is streamed compared to the other songs, it would be on the
Oh
lower
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
But it's so good. I believe it's Quincy Jones that's on it too, as a feature. But like, it's just a high energy, fun song. I love it so much. So that would be number one. Number two would be off the same album, Leave Me Alone.
Mhm.
Um, Bad is my favorite Michael Jackson album. So if all of these songs are from that album, I guess that's what it is. But that song,
Yeah.
just another that the whole energy of that album, like it's
Yeah.
pop, but it's dark and it's
Yep.
energetic,
It is.
and I
Yeah.
love that. So
Mhm.
yeah, Leave Me Alone is one. I'm gonna try to pick another one off of a different album. I'm gonna go with there's actually this one is more of a deep cut because it was
Okay.
released on the 40th edition of Thriller. The only reason I knew the song before
Okay.
it came out is just because it was on the Michael Jackson Just Dance video or
Oh,
video
nice.
game. I don't know
Yeah.
how it made the game, but it wasn't released. But it's called Sunset
Interesting.
Driver. And it's like this
Oh.
disco pop song.
Hmm.
And I remember me and my sister were so obsessed with it, but we could only really listen to it on the game. And
And
then they finally released it. I think it
yeah.
was 2 years ago they released it on streaming. And I was like, wow, I really thought they forgot about that song. But
Wow. Okay.
that's one,
Nice.
100%. I'd say Human Nature. I think
Mhm.
everyone just knows that that's one of his best songs of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
okay, that's four. For my fifth one, I will go with, honestly, this is so hard. I feel like I'm gonna go back to the Bad album again because I just love every single song on there. But
Yeah.
another part of me is another really, really great one.
Mm,
Like
that is
I Yeah, because I remember my dad had this iPod with the, I think it was like what felt like an hour-long remix. It was just a big mix of Michael Jackson songs just chopped up and they would transition into
nice.
each other.
That's
And that's how I
amazing.
just really discovered that
Yeah.
song. And a
Yeah.
lot of the songs I love from there are from that. So
Mm.
yeah, those are my top five, but it'll probably change in like 5 minutes. So
Yeah, of course. As soon as you like listen to a song that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that I love this so much.
exactly, exactly, because there's all the
Yeah.
Jackson 5 stuff and everything too. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I find that like a lot of people like, and if you look at published lists and all that stuff, like people will say Thriller is his like best album. But in my opinion, I think it's bad. Like I don't find Thriller is as good as just an album as a whole. Like it's almost more like just like individual songs, which they're all great. But I think if you're talking about an album that was made to be an album, I would say that that is like his best. I would, in my opinion. But
yeah, that's his
yeah,
best.
great album.
I will say that every single day. I love
Yeah.
Thriller. I love Off the Wall. I love Dangerous. I love all of them. But
Mhm.
Bad just seems like the one.
Yeah, it's so good, and so many of those songs just went ballistic in terms of popularity. So like,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, great tracks. I'll have to check out. You said Sunset Driving or Driver?
Sunset Driver.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I've never heard of that, so that's
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah, deep
I've
cut.
got some homework here. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Um, that's cool. Let's transition and then we'll wrap up. But I'd love to hear, you said Travis Scott was also a favorite of yours. Did you see his like Utopia? Did he call it Circus Maximus? Whatever his tour
Yeah,
was. His
Circus
were you
Maximus tour. Yeah,
did you see it 10 times?
yeah. I did not see it 10 times, shockingly. I saw it twice because he did two Toronto dates.
Nice.
Loved it. One of the best stage designs I've ever seen for a concert ever. Like it was this huge stage, like the design and thought he put into it,
Mm,
amazing.
yeah.
And yeah, he's great live too. He has all this energy. He's dancing, he's
Yeah.
rapping, he's
Yeah.
doing everything. So
Yeah. What
yeah.
what are your what are your thoughts on Fiend live? I know that a lot of people are divided.
I am here for it. If
Yeah,
he wants
okay.
to play it 20 times, I'm there. The energy
You're
is
there.
there. I will
The
do it
energy
every
is there.
single time.
Yeah.
Like when he did it in Toronto, I think he did it, I think 7 times, and I was
Okay.
there
Yeah.
every single time. I was hyped. Like
Yeah.
it's such a hype song. Like, and now it's
Yeah.
gone to the point where like, DJs who are opening for other artists, they're playing Fiend. Like when DJ Mustard
Yeah.
opens for Kendrick and SZA, he's playing Fiend. Like that is
Yeah.
the hype song to get everybody hyped. So I'm not
Yeah.
tired of it.
Hey, that I probably would be there for you, especially in a live setting. It's one thing if you're like watching a video that somebody's like taken of it and it's like
Yeah,
13 times, then you're like, kind of over this. But in a live setting with all those people, yeah, hype would be through the roof. You would just be like,
yeah.
let's do it again. Let's do it again. I'm sure you wanted Kendrick Lamar to do Euphoria again. Like let's just take it from the
I would have.
top, Kendrick.
I would have been there. Like I went to the
Yeah.
pop out show that Kendrick did in LA, and when he did Not Like Us 5 times, I was
Mm,
there for it five
yeah.
times, and I was shocked because the people around me after the second one were sitting and scrolling on their phones, and I was like, "What are we
Oh, come
doing
on. Yeah,
here?"
come
But
on.
yeah.
Man, crazy man. All right, well, give me your top five Travis Scott songs then.
Okay, my favorite Travis Scott song is off of Astroworld, and it is Skeletons with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. I've
Hmm. Hmm.
never heard anything like that song before. It's so different. Like, and I
Yeah.
love Astroworld. Um, my favorite Travis Scott album is Utopia, though. Hot take. Some people get
Okay.
really angry
That
about that.
that is kind of a hot take. Yeah.
Astroworld is very, very close behind, but
Mm,
it is Utopia for me. So I'd say Skeletons, and
interesting.
then also off of Astroworld, I'd say Stop Trying to Be God, because I've also never heard a song like that before either.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, when it comes to Utopia, I feel like my opinions are kind of all over the place because a lot of people disagree, but I love God's Country. And it's so funny
Okay.
because I remember I was watching an NFR podcast video and they were literally crapping on that song. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, come
Um,
on.
yeah, that song. So that's number three. Sirens off of
Yeah.
Utopia. I also really love. It's like this high energy music that I've never really heard anything similar to before. So
Mhm.
Sirens, and then for the last one, I'm gonna take another one off of Utopia. I would say honestly, I'd say Modern Jam with Tizo Touchdown.
Oh
Like
man, I love that.
that's it's
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that song and I was like,
Mhm.
wow, this is one of my favorite Travis Scott songs ever. Another
Yeah.
one where it just sounds so different. I love Tizo as a feature artist and
Yeah. Yeah.
he is yeah, that song is just so catchy. It's so much fun to listen to live or in my
Mhm.
car. It's such an aux song, like
Yeah,
it's great. I
absolutely.
love it.
I think that's one of my favorite beats from Utopia. I just
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I just think it's yeah, it's just so like you you can't help but I don't know, just move to it. It's just so like
Yeah,
yeah, it's so good. And yeah,
it's a
T
jam.
that's kind of what like Tizo that kind of like shot him like he did a couple features, but that was like the last one that kind of like shot him up into people being like, "Whoa, this guy's legit."
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty cool overall track. Just his feature, obviously the beat on it's amazing. Yeah, nice. Um, it's funny. What are your thoughts on Rodeo? Because I think I hear a lot of people saying Rodeo would be his best album.
Yeah, those people aren't gonna like me because I'm not a huge fan of Rodeo,
Okay.
honestly. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's a bad album at all, but I I think I just love the atmospheres that Travis is able to make with his later albums like
Mhm.
Astroworld and Utopia. He's very
Sure.
good at
Yeah.
world building. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
somewhere else when I'm listening to those two albums. Like they
Yeah.
really feel like big bodies of work. Something like Rodeo is like, yeah, there's some trap bangers on there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel as complete as a Astroworld or Utopia.
Mhm. Yeah, interesting. I would say that like Rodeo, I go back to that the least. Like there's
Mhm.
not I'm not listening to
Yeah.
it as much. Um and if I were to just rank on listenability or re-listenability, I would say Utopia would be like one of his best in terms of like there's some tracks on there that I wasn't a huge fan of. So like if I were to just like go overall album, maybe I would rank it a little bit lower, but yeah, there's I go back to probably 6 or 7 of those songs often. Whereas,
Yeah.
Astro World maybe has like 4, Rodeo has like 1 or 2 if that sometimes. Sometimes I
Hmm.
just forget that that like existed. So, definitely in terms of re-listenability, I would say Utopia is like really strong. And some of that could be because it's, it hasn't been around so long, but I don't know. I just think the vibes and like you said, the just the soundscape or the world that he creates in that is just yeah, it's great. It's like dark and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
100% agree.
Cool. Well, we've been going for about an hour here, so this is usually when I call it
Yeah.
even if there's more to talk about. But yeah, this was great. I love this conversation. It was a lot of fun to kind of get into the world of cinema and just kind of talk about that and music and how they're intertwined and then also music stuff. I'm so happy that you're able to take the time. I really appreciated that. It was a lot of fun. So any listeners out there, go follow Myah. You're on pretty much everything, right? You're definitely on Instagram and TikTok, for
Yeah,
sure.
those are my mains. Those are my mains. I do have a YouTube that's not as active right now, but will
Hmm.
be soon. And I'm
Sure.
kind of on Twitter a little bit here and there. So
Okay, okay. Yeah. So Twitter, if you're yeah. I don't even talk about Twitter because I'm not there at all. Like I do not have the capacity. I know like some people like Twitter is like their thing because, they get a lot of interaction, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't my thing for a while. I actually didn't get into it until like maybe 2 weeks ago. But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It can be good, but it's just another thing that just it you can't repurpose stuff for Twitter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah,
it's like if
that's
if
why.
you if you want to be big on Twitter, you have to do only Twitter stuff, and that's where it kind of gets tough for me, where I'm like, I just don't. I
I
can't.
feel
I
you.
don't have the time for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, go follow her everywhere. Yeah, she's got great music content, obviously great music or film content as well. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, it was awesome to have you on, and hopefully maybe someday we'll have you on again.
Yes, thank you for having me. I had such a blast.
Great, I'm glad. All right, well, come back next week for another episode and another guest. We'll see you then.